free credit cards, how to get free flights, things like that. So this is the second one. The first one was pretty well received. I had a lot of views on it. So I figured I would kind of continue on. A lot of people are curious about this, but don't quite know where to start. So in case you haven't already, there is a first video. This is going to go into a little bit more detail about it. So I hope you like this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get started. So what exactly is credit card churning? So let's start off with that, which is essentially the basics. So it is opening up credit cards or CC for the points. Now, after you open it up, what you're trying to do is you're trying to hit the minimum spend. So usually there's a promotion where it's something along the lines of spend 3K in 3 months, and then you'll get, let's say, like 30,000 points. Okay. So what a lot of people do is they'll open up the card, they'll get that kind of minimum spend, they'll get those points, but then they'll keep using that same card. In which case, yes, you are accumulating points, but you're not really accumulating them super fast. The vast majority of the points that you've accumulated have been via your minimum spend and that kind of bonus that you get. So what you're looking to do is open up multiple credit cards, but it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. That's the really important part. Okay, so you are opening up multiple credit cards, you're hitting the minimum spend, and then you are using the funds to go traveling. So there are different kinds of credit cards that you can get. There are ones that are kind of like cashback. There are ones that are travel points, kind of like Aeroplan or Avios. There are ones that are kind of book anyway. And then you also have like no fee ones or low interest ones as well. Low IR interest rates. Okay, so there are different ones, and there are so many of them. So first of all, you need to figure out what are your goals. Okay, you also need to figure out how much money do you spend. Okay, and then how much time and effort do you want to put into it. So for some people, this takes far too much time and effort. You definitely do need to do your research with it, figure out where do you want to go, what points do you use to get there, how many points do you need, are the points worth it? Because sometimes the number of points that you need for certain trips are just not worth it relative to the cash value of it. So you never want to open up a card, get the points, use them, and close them down right away. You usually want to wait a few months, so maybe between about 3 to 6 months, okay, depending on how aggressive you want to be. And then you can either close it, or what you can do is you can switch your card. Some people will actually switch their credit card to a cheaper version of that same credit card, one with maybe no fee or something. If you close it, it does affect your credit score, okay? If you switch it, not only can you switch it to maybe a no fee card, but there are certain banks where you can switch it to another credit card that also has a promotion. And the benefit of switching it is no credit hit. Okay, so there's no credit hit. It doesn't affect your age of account, so your time is still the same. And then also you can potentially get the bonus points, potentially, in case you haven't realized. So that's essentially what you're trying to do. Now, different times you'll have different promotions. Okay, so sometimes in the summer or in the winter, depending on the season, you might have a card that's like this example that I gave here. 3K in 3 months will give you 30,000 points. Or maybe for a short time, it'll be like 45,000 points with still the 3K minimum. Okay, or it'll be something like 60,000 points, but now you had to spend at least 6K maybe within 4 months or so. So there are different time frames and different groupings that you can use. Now, what you're trying to do is, so sorry, my camera just shook. So what you're trying to do is you want to collect points, and the best thing to do is try to amalgamate all of them into 1 or 2 buckets. So for example, there is Aeroplan, there is Avios, there is American Airlines. This kind of includes some American ones as well. There are air miles. You can see how they get kind of confusing after a while. They all start with A. So you don't want to just go and willy-nilly start applying for each credit card that gets you those points, because then what you're going to have is you're going to have a bunch of small little buckets. So you want to have a plan, and a lot of people do like to use Aeroplan. It's quite common for Canadians. So you want to figure out what cards can you open up that will get you Aeroplan, or that you can convert to get to Aeroplan. Okay, so this is the important part. You don't want to spread yourself out too thin. You also want to make sure that you have time, okay? So if you're planning a trip and you want to go in 2 months, that might not be enough time. You do want to make sure that you have maybe 6 months or a year. You also want to make sure that you're not forcing yourself to spend more money just so that you can hit that minimum spend goal, okay? So you have to be just good with money in general. So good with money. And then you also have to be more type A than not. So you have to figure out, who do you call, when do you call, what's your time frame, when do you cancel the account, what's your minimum spend if it's 3 months, when does that date end, are you able to hit it before the 3 months? Because you don't want to get into a situation where you missed it by a few days, which actually has happened to me, by the way. When I first started credit card churning, that's exactly what happened to me. So really, you are making sure that you are fairly on the ball with all of your accounts when you open them, etc., etc. So these are some kind of basis that we have there. There are also online forums and online groups that you can use. You don't even have to get super crazy with it. So for example, I really like the kind of like the Scotia cards, because they do a very easy book anyway. So you can book Airbnbs and then you can just reimburse yourself for those Airbnb points. So book anyway. And then something I haven't mentioned yet is referrals. So you want to figure out how you can refer cards or products to and from different people. So a lot of times you'll have maybe a spouse or a parent or a sibling. And you'll see, for example, with Amex, they have referrals that if you refer someone using your code or your link, they will get extra points and or you will get extra points. You also have things like using Great Canadian Rebates, if you haven't heard of it yet. Sorry for my chicken scratch writing. It gets worse as we keep going. Where by opening up a card via their link, you might get maybe like $60 or $50 or something along those lines, depending on the situation at hand. And then you have things like the Aeroplan e-store, not well known about at all, okay? And this is kind of referral links. So let's say you wanted to buy something on Sephora, or, oh, I got a message. Let's say Sephora, H&M, even Apple, or what are other companies? The Bay. There's actually so many of them. Indigo's another good one. If you do it via the Aeroplan e-store, they will give you a point multiplier. Even Amazon, actually, some things are valid for. So instead of saying, if you buy something, I'll give you an example. I bought a $300 product from Amazon. If I just went on Amazon and used my credit card, I would have gotten 300 points. So I got those 300 points, but because I clicked the referral link from the Aeroplan e-store, I got an extra 300 points. So I just doubled it. A lot of times you'll even have promotions where you'll have 2 times, 3 times, I don't know if 4 times exists, but even 5 times the points. So Sephora's a pretty big one. So if you spend $50, you are going to get 250 points from the e-store. Okay, so that is a pretty good one as well. So those are some quick other additional things that I want to add in regards to credit card churning. I am thinking about making a video. Have you seen the ones where it's like ranking products? So I am thinking about making one where it's like ranking credit cards. So I'm going to go over like a great card to have, an okay card to have, a not for everyone, etc., etc. But that one I think will be quite a bit of research and a little bit of work. But I think it could be really good because then it will go down all of the different credit cards, pros and cons, their fees that come with them, etc., etc. Anyways, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. I hope you learned something new today. I hope to see you in a future video. If you're still here, please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Let me do my classic highlight. Boop, there we are. Thanks everyone. See you later. Bye. Bye for now.